The lights of the studio were bright, almost painfully so. As RAYE stepped onto the set of The Kelly Clarkson Show, the audience erupted in applause, a wave of excitement washing over her. She smiled, waving politely, though inside a storm of nerves brewed. Today's interview wasn't just another promotional stop, it was a tipping point. Rumors, social media speculations, and whispers about her recent decisions had made her hyper-aware of every word she would speak. Kelly Clarkson's warm greeting should have eased her nerves, but there was a tension between them that RAYE could feel immediately, as though an invisible cord tied their energies together, taut and vibrating. As the cameras rolled and the casual banter began, RAYE tried to maintain composure. Kelly asked her about her latest album, and the crowd cheered, hanging on every word. RAYE laughed and spoke about her songs, the inspirations, the creative process, but then Kelly's tone shifted subtly. She asked a pointed question about a recent controversy, her smile faltering for just a fraction of a second. The audience tensed. Even the production crew leaned in. RAYE felt the words hit like an unexpected wind. "How do you respond to the critics who say you've changed too much?" The comment was casual in delivery but sharp in intent. RAYE's mind raced. She had anticipated tough questions, but this felt like a trap. Her voice, calm yet icy, answered with careful diplomacy. But Kelly pressed further, probing into personal territory, questioning decisions and intentions. The polite veneer between them began to crack. RAYE felt the air grow heavier, as though the studio itself sensed the friction. The crowd's laughter faltered, replaced by whispers. Kelly's eyes locked with hers, the microphone picking up a tension so palpable it almost vibrated. RAYE's patience snapped, a single, burning thought eclipsing the need for diplomacy. She would not be undermined or made a spectacle of. Without warning, she stood abruptly, the chair scraping against the polished floor. The audience gasped. "I'm done," she said, her voice calm but firm, and walked toward the exit, leaving stunned silence in her wake. Cameras captured every moment as the production staff scrambled, murmuring apologies to the audience, while Kelly's own expression twisted between shock and disbelief. The studio seemed to shrink around them, the usual warmth of daytime, television replaced by an unspoken confrontation that no one would forget. Backstage, the corridor was dimmer, quieter, yet every step echoed the intensity of the clash. RAYE's heartbeat pounded, adrenaline mixing with relief. She paused at the end of the hall, taking a deep breath, the muffled sounds of the audience fading. This was not just a walk-off. It was a statement. She had refused to be boxed into someone else's narrative, refused to let personal attacks dictate her story. Behind her, the faint sound of a producer calling her name barely registered. Her mind was already racing ahead, thinking about the fallout, the headlines, the social media storm she knew would follow. But in that moment, she felt clarity, a rare, fierce sense of autonomy. The cameras had followed, the audience had witnessed, yet in walking away, she reclaimed control, transforming what could have been humiliation into empowerment. The encounter would be dissected in articles, shared in clips, debated in podcasts. But for RAYE, the story was simple. She had drawn a line, and she had walked it. Hours later, in a quiet hotel room, RAYE watched the clips circulating online. Comments poured in, some supportive, some critical, many incredulous. She allowed herself a small smile. The tension, the confrontation, the abrupt exit. It all underscored a truth that couldn't be edited out or spun by anyone else. Her narrative, for once, was entirely her own. And as the night deepened, she drafted a short, pointed statement for her social media. A few sentences to frame the story on her terms. The experience had been exhausting, overwhelming, and at times terrifying, but it had also been liberating. She had entered the studio under scrutiny, and she left it on her own terms, leaving an indelible mark on everyone who had witnessed it.